Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we will do a detailed comparison of the Lava Iris 406Q with the Nokia's latest Android smartphone, the Nokia X. So both these phones are priced in the same category of around 6.5k. So that's the latest pricing of these two phones, and they also come in with the same almost similar specifications. So we'll do a detailed comparison on these two phones and decide which is better with respect to design, build quality, display, the performance, battery life, and also the camera performance. So let's start with the comparison. So these two phones, let's first analyze the specs of these two phones. So first step, the Nokia X. This is the Nokia's first attempt with Android, and comes with a 1 GHz dual core processor with 512 MB RAM, and there's also 4 GB internal storage, and comes with a 3.15 megapixel rear camera. There's no front facing camera on this device, and it has a really good build quality, and as like any other Nokia phones, you have a matte finish back panel, and it's pretty small in hands, and it also sports a 4-inch display, the WVGA display at 800 by 480 pixels with 233 ppi. So overall, this runs Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. That's not the latest version, and it's a forked version of Android. That means this does not have Google Play Store and other stuffs from Google. Instead, Nokia has bundled it with Nokia's own API and also apps. So it does not have a Google Play Store, and in the operations as well, this does not have a home button. I mean the back button and the options, multitasking option. Instead, does have only one button, that is the home button. So it runs on an UI which is very similar to the Windows Phone UI with the tiles and the other interface. Now on the hardware front, you can see here this has the normal volume keys and the power button on the right side, and you also have the micro USB charging slot as well as the 3.5mm audio jack. Again, the rear camera is 3.15 megapixel. There's also speakers at the bottom. So design wise, this is pretty compact. The 4-inch display is pretty compact for an entry level smartphone. Now let's go ahead and see the Lava Iris 406Q. So this was announced back in April, and this is again in the same price range of Nokia X. So this also comes with a 4-inch WVGA display which sports an 800 by 480 pixel resolution. But this is powered by a much better processor. This has the quad-core Snapdragon 200 processor, and it also comes with 1 GB of RAM. The internal storage is again 4 GB, which is expandable by a micro SD card to 32 GB. Then you also have a 5 megapixel fixed focus camera which has an LED flash, and there's also a front facing VGA camera for video calls and other stuff. Now again, you also have the 3 capacitive touchscreen buttons on the front panel, along with the normal set of speakers and the sensors. Now one thing you would see when you compare with Nokia X is that it does have a lot of bezel around the display, making it a bigger phone than the Nokia X. You can see the size difference. It is a bigger phone, although both the devices have the same display size. The Lava Iris 406Q is bigger in display. That's because there is a lot of bezel space around the display on the Iris 406Q. On the back, you can see the plastic quality. The matte finish on Nokia X is slightly better than the plastic, the glossy finish on the Lava Iris 406Q. And the Nokia X gives a pretty premium feel, although this device is much heavier than the Lava Iris 406Q. So on the design and build quality, probably Nokia does have an edge over the Lava Iris 406Q. Now coming to the display of both these phones, as we said before, both the devices have the same display, that is 4-inch WVGA display with the exact 800 by 480 pixel resolution. But one thing what you can see from here, that Nokia X has a slightly better display. The IPS plus LCD display has better color reproduction and contrast ratios, while on the Lava Iris 406Q you can see that the contrast ratios are not that great, and the display is pretty oversaturated. So, and the viewing angles are also not that great when it comes to Iris 406Q, and we would say that in display aspect, the Nokia X has a slight edge over the Lava Iris 406Q. But nevertheless, the Iris 406Q has a decent display, but it could have been better, even though the price range is entry level, it could have been better. That's what we feel with the Iris 406Q display. So in the display aspect, the Nokia X wins over the Iris 406Q. Now moving on to the camera, which is one of the most important aspects we consider when we buy a smartphone. Even though it's a budget smartphone, we generally have a tendency to get the phone which has a better camera. Now going by the megapixel count, the Lava Iris 406Q is better here because it does have a 5 megapixel camera when compared to the 3 megapixel camera on the Nokia X. Both the cameras features pretty much good options to choose from. Even the Nokia camera has pretty much options. You can choose the white balance, then you have the option to choose the ISO. Even on Lava Iris 406Q you have quite a lot of options available, and the shots are pretty much average on both the cameras, while Lava Iris 406Q has a slight edge over the Nokia X with respect to the photo clarity and the color reproduction. And even the low light photography is not that great on both the devices, and we would say that both the devices have a very average camera, or probably it could have been better if we see the camera on the Lumia 520 or 525. Both these cameras feel a bit really bad when compared to the Lumia 520 and 525. So between the two we would select the Iris 406Q because it has a flash included, while the Nokia X does not have a flash, and also there is no front facing camera on the Nokia X, so video calls are not possible. And the front facing camera is available, a VGA front facing camera is available on the Lava Iris 406Q. Now moving on to the performance, which is the most important aspect of any smartphone. Now Lava Iris 406Q comes with Android 4.3 out of the box. That's not the latest version, since KitKat is the latest version, but still Lava has already promised that they will be releasing the KitKat update for this phone, even though it's an entry level phone. Now if you go to the Nokia X runs on a customized version of Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. That's still older than the Lava Iris 406Q. And what happens in the performance aspect is the Iris 406Q has a really good performance because it runs on an Android. It runs on a Snapdragon quad-core processor, and there is no lag whatsoever on this phone, and it's pretty snappy and does the job pretty much without any issues. And you can also do multitasking on this device, and more or less the UI is very similar to the default Android UI, so there isn't much customization from Lava. So overall we would say the performance on Iris 406Q with quad-core processor is really good, and you seldom see any lag or any issues. Even with the gameplay, it's pretty decent. Now talking about the Nokia X, which has a dual core processor with just 512 MB RAM when compared to 1 GB RAM on the Lava Iris 406Q. And moreover, what happens is this phone does have a heavily probably you can say this is heavy on UI, so that has a big issue on the performance. With just 512 MB of RAM, you might see a lot of lag in these UIs, especially when you switch to home screen, and there's no real option to multitask apart from the option of fast lane, which isn't really a great multitasking option when compared to what we have on the Lava Iris 406Q. So overall the performance of Nokia X is not that great with 512 MB RAM and a dual core processor. Probably if Nokia had added a 1 GB RAM to this phone, it would have been much better, even though it's a dual core processor. Remember, Moto E does have 1 GB of RAM and it runs on a Snapdragon dual core processor. So the RAM is the main issue with the Nokia X, and it feels laggy in most of the areas, and especially when switching to home screen you definitely feel the lag. So on the performance side, we would say that Lava Iris 406Q wins the race by a big margin, because you don't find any lag or any issues with the Iris 406Q, while on the Nokia X you can see the lag, clear lag in many of the areas, and there's no real multitasking. Another issue with Nokia X is that it does not have the Play Store, and it has only the Nokia's custom store. So there are quite a lot of apps missing in that area as well. So Iris 406Q does not have any such issues, and you can run the Play Store and install any app which is available on the Android store. Now talking about the battery life, both the devices have almost similar battery, 1700 versus 1500. So there isn't much to choose from in terms of battery, but we would say that both the phones have almost a day of battery performance, even for an average to normal user. So the battery performance, we would say that both are almost similar. Now both the devices comes with 4 GB internal storage, and you can expand via micro SD card. Now the real issue is that you cannot move the apps to the SD card since Android has a restriction on that. So you can only move certain apps to the SD card, and certain data will be still remaining on the SD and on the default storage. So if you want to install too many games, and you might feel short on storage, because the 4 GB included with the device, user just gets around 1.5 GB or so. So that's one of the issues with both the devices. So there isn't much to choose between these two. So finally, if you were to choose one of the devices, we would definitely choose the Iris 406Q over the Nokia X. For mainly two reasons. One is the performance. The quad-core performance, the quad-core Snapdragon 200 processor does give really good performance on the 406Q, while the Nokia X with 512 MB RAM lags in a lot of areas. And second thing is the core Android UI, and the option to upgrade to KitKat is available on 406Q, while on Nokia X it is the 4.1 version, and there is also no Play Store. And again, on the camera front, the Lava Iris 406Q wins the race by slight margin, even though both the cameras are not that great performance. But on the display aspect and the design and the fit and finish, probably the Nokia X is better than Iris 406Q. So that's the Q comparison of Iris 406Q with the Nokia X. Both the phones are priced in the 6.5K range, and you can pick up from the online stores. So that's all in the comparison. If you have any specific queries regarding this, drop a comment, and we'll be glad to help you out with your queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to your YouTube channel for more updates, and thanks for watching this video.